I just wanted to make a public service announcement how quiet this car is.
Oh yeah, is that right? Let me show him the exhaust. Hold on. Check this Lamborghini Camaro out. Or McLaren. Whatever you want to call it. Pretty sick, huh? Thing looks badass from the back.
I'm gonna start it.
Oh, hold on. Let me get back here then. Go ahead.
A C7Z that came in. The guy did his own work. It's got a Rock 2650 on it, 5-inch intake, meth, flex fuel, stock lower still, no cam, no heads, headers. But I tried to dyno it, and it ran out of fuel system, honestly, with the stock injector and stock pump, and he thought it was going to be alright, but I didn't even make it to 85. It was just on 93, and it's building like 20 pounds of boost. That's a good bit, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't have a cam, so the blower's not being spun hard, it's just building on a boost. The thing is that people don't realize with these blowers, any 2650 at all, anything that's bigger than a 1.7 really, it takes more power to turn the blower. So when you do that, you're eating more fuel because it takes up more power in the motor, so it's more inertia to get the blower going.
Right.
So it's not necessarily even making more power. So if you have an 800 horsepower 2650 and an 800 horsepower 1.7, it takes more power to turn the 2650. And the 2650 is an awesome blower, don't get me wrong, but to do a 2650 you need to spend a bunch more money to upgrade injectors and all that crap. So we just put 30 overs in it and a high side fuel pump, and we'll see what it does. Now I know he wants to make good power one of these days,
Right.
like north of 1,000, and you need that. You need a 2650 to do that. So he just said, I want to buy it now, which I totally get. It's pretty cool. You can make good power with these things and not spin the crap out of them too.
Right.
But it doesn't mean they don't get hot. Any style blower like this gets hot, so you still need the cooling no matter what, honestly. All right.
Let's make some passes and see what she does.
Yep.
So we got the first pull. We got some NA power. Not bad. Ooh, torque looks pretty nice though.
Well, the high side pump and injectors definitely helps this. I'm gonna lie. I couldn't even make a pull on it before. That was just like a pull until
just making sure
4,500. But
yeah.
still, I mean, it still could use a cam in it with that extra fuel load for sure. It's definitely going to be tunable now, but I don't know how much E85 will be able to get in it.
Looks good. He did a good job.
I'm gonna add some enough in this thing. Actually, you know what? It doesn't need any because...
Does it need meth?
No, it doesn't, because I remember I put meth in this before and it had a low washer fluid on thing on it.
Alright, big dog. Let's get an update. What's going on here? It's the next day. Let's see.
Yeah. We had to add a third meth nozzle.
Woo! Yeah. You know how we like our meth.
2 nozzles at a time is how I like my meth.
Yeah, that's his regular dosage, but when he really wants to party, he'll add a third. You need a big dog cam in this thing. Quit playing. Meth nozzle.
Squeaking by.
Squeaking by? Alright. You said this should make like 900 maybe, right?
Yeah, but if we get the fuel system,
yeah.
Fucking... it's just...
Not enough.
It has a fuel system on it, but it ain't got no cam, so it's just hard to get it to hold high side. That's why I just put a third nozzle on and it's still having an issue. I mean, it's feasible. I continue to like this, but
right.
Before we even did any of this, it was making 500 horsepower because I couldn't even lay into it. That's
right, I know. I remember. I was gonna record, but it was just like totally useless.
As a lot of people know, they're direct injection motors, and the high side fuel pump runs off of a cam lobe in the back of the engine. So when we get cams for these, we get 38% or 43% fuel load, and it gives a 38% more volume of fuel.
Right.
And it's a huge help.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's almost like adding another fuel pump almost.
Really? Yeah, honestly. This has a high side pump on it, but it's only going to give you so much. It really needs both of them.
It's making a good bit of torque, but power's not there.
Dropping like 2,200 pounds on the high side still.
What did you tell him to do when he called and talked to you about it?
He talked to Jared.
What'd you tell him?
We told him to do a sock blow.
Okay. You know, just because he ain't the big dog don't mean he don't know his shit.
Yeah, just because Jared ain't the big dog don't mean that he don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Right.
I'm not acting like Jared's stupid.
Right.
9 times out of 10 you're talking to Jared anyway. So.
I think Jared knows more than the big dog secretly.
Oh shit!
Shots fired.
Oh my goodness.
I think that's who taught the big dog his ways.
That's 10 years? No, I think
No, just, 700 horsepower on a 2650. That's pretty common.
Yeah, you know, we don't about that.
Hey, Mr. Bob.
I just got something in my eye.
Oh, that's unfortunate. How we doing? What's going on with this thing?
Good. Nothing. I'm not
Nothing?
doing anything. No.
Yeah, that's usual.
It's a C6 Grand Sport with 65,000 miles on it. And it came in like bone stock except a like axle back exhaust. And we're doing heads cam and a Maggie on it. And in taking it apart, I thought we'd show you guys. The car runs, drives, no issues. It did have a check engine light. I didn't even look at that. But I was pulling it apart and I got the lifters out. This is one of the worst ones, but I noticed this one's easy to see. The other one that I first saw wasn't as bad. But you can kind of see, where are we at? You can see kind of like the dull area in the middle.
Right.
And then continued on, got the cam out. And I'm like, ooh, that's rough. Look at that. That's probably one of the worst ones there. You can see. So it should pretty much look like that, like this part,
Nice,
like
smooth.
shiny all the way around on all these different lobes. This is where the cam bearing rides. That's not a lobe, but you can kind of see on all of them they got this line in the middle, and a bunch of them are getting worn out where it's dull and
Yeah.
rough. Move along here. Up here it's like super pitted. A bunch of them are like that. So there's a few lifters that are going bad as well. So that was on its way to getting wiped, and customer probably would have known very soon. So we'll show them that, but we caught it. There's no issue now. We're replacing the lifters, replacing the cam anyways. It's just funny that we saw it tearing it apart. Figured to show it off. So
Yeah.
we had another Corvette. It was a C6 ZR1. Same thing. It was like a 10 or 12,000 mile car.
Right.
Bone stock. No noises. Quiet as could be. Runs and drives just fine. Again, came in for heads and cam, and pulled the cam out and pretty much saw the same thing. Probably like not as bad as one of these, but it was glad we caught it, honestly, because it wasn't even like pitted yet. It was just like
Scored some, like,
yeah, not
like,
so much
it-
score,
like
but you
the-
just see that dull spot.
Yeah,
and that's
that-
like that's the start of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a roller. It's basically like almost like a ball bearing, and it rides on the cam lobe, goes up and down to open up your valve. And I've seen it where basically this is flat on one side, and it's just sitting there like grinding away.
Right.
The lobe will get flattened. Those are the ones that you hear really bad.
Exactly.
There you go. There's your reason to go do heads cam on any LS
Yeah.
car.
Any mileage.
Yeah, any mileage.
But
Heck,
yeah,
you
no.
go buy a brand new Silverado like mine. Mine hasn't had an issue, but any of these new LTs are like left and right need lifters.
Yeah.
For a different reason. It's not so much that, it's the AFM, DFM, the 10 different 3-letter versions of the same thing.
I get that good side. Let me get your good side. There it is.
There we go.
There it is.
Something about SS Camaros. We did this car a while ago. Honestly, I don't know when, but we did it a while ago. Our heads cam package was on 93 and high ram, and he road races this like pretty hardcore, and we just added 85 to it. So
You can see what it makes.
yeah, I made 542 before, but I had it like pretty safe because he's road
Yeah, because he's
racing.
beating the piss
Yeah.
out of it.
So I wasn't really trying to push it, and then we added the wing. Or
Oh, yeah.
little support.
Big wang.
You
Big
added
wang.
the wing.
I'll show it off.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I won't take the credit, but I'll show it off.
Oh, you did it all. You and Bob.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, Bob, look, if I would have did it, it would have been crooked. But because Bob helped me, it's straight.
I just wanted to make a public service announcement on how quiet this car is.
Oh, yeah, is that right? Let me show him the exhaust. Hold on. Check this Lamborghini Camaro out. Or McLaren. Whatever you want to call it. Pretty sick, huh? Thing looks badass from the back.
I'm gonna start it.
Oh, hold on. Let me get back here then. Go ahead. Oh yeah, that's pretty quiet, dude. I mean, I would definitely start that up in the morning if my neighbors were trying to sleep.
It's on E43 right now with the blend, so we might need to blend it a little more, but we'll see what it does with this first.
Show them all the practice you've had. You know. Come on, show them how it's done. Go ahead. Go ahead. Nobody's no, don't be scared. Don't be scared. He tried to hide it.
gonna want to rev up pretty good.
Dude, sounds sick back there, even through the headphones. Just sounds aggressive. Not bad. What'd you rev it to there?
74.
74? Woo! It's up there. For sure.
I rev my car 8,000.
Oh yeah, we know you revving your shit.
I've never had a head cam LT1 make 600 on this dyno. Doesn't matter who it's from. It just, they don't make it. It's like 560 is damn good on this dyno for these cars.
Yeah.
I know people claim they make 600, but
yeah.
I know this guy goes out and races heads cam LT1s that make 600 on other people's dyno and beats them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I mean, like we try to always talk about this, but you know, dyno numbers aren't everything.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't weak though either.
Yeah, no, it's definitely this thing rides. I would love to take this thing out and just corner the living shit out of it. Especially with that fancy seat. Ooh.
It's actually like not that uncomfortable. It's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they make them to where, you know, you're riding something with like the tightest suspension ever, so.
Yeah.
But, no, it's definitely a nice seat.
We're actually going to start making, we were talking about.
Making seats?
No.
Just messing with you.
Off camera, we were talking about making parts more for like the road race and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I can't really open the trunk and show you guys right this second, but after we get it off the dyno, we'll pull the wing off and show you how we got it mounted up in there. But we did something that, you know, I don't want to say that nobody's ever done it with the SS, but it's if people have done it, it's very rare.
We didn't copy nobody.
Yeah, and he's gonna show you guys how to remove this wing. Really ain't much to it, 4 bolts. But some things like this can be tough for Bob. What an honorable guy. And nice. Nice. You ready to show the people, Bob? Go ahead, reveal it. You almost can't even see the damn thing. There it is, folks. Check that shit out. Oh yeah.
I forget the exact spec. I think it was something like 140 miles an hour. This thing creates like 700 pounds of downforce. It's like 4 people sitting on the trunk. So he put this carbon trunk on, which looks and fits like perfect. But 4 people standing on the trunk probably isn't a great idea. What you do is, they call it like chassis mounting it. You'll see like some of the guys will have like those huge brackets that attach through the back bumper, and you'll see all that like bracket stuff here. Or if you have like a sturdy trunk, you know, like a ZL1 1LE has that big factory wing. I don't know, you know, what kind of downforce that creates and whatnot. But obviously it's mounted there and it's fine because people don't rip their trunks off. With the carbon trunk especially, he wanted it to be braced up pretty well. So instead of just bolting it there, we didn't bolt it to the trunk at all. You know, measured everything to cut through it and just slip it through, and then built this tower that goes down to either frame rail. Try to show you. It's kind of hard, but it's bolted in on either side.
Yeah, and we welded
With a
plates
plate
in,
that's
yeah.
welded in
Yeah, hold on,
to
let me
each
zoom.
frame rail.
Yeah, there you go. They can kind of see
Kinda
it.
hard to see.
You can kind of see it. Everything's kind of paint matched, flat black, so that
Yeah.
doesn't help. But
It's bolted in there. And kind of moves with the car.
yeah, literally.
You can
Yeah.
push the car around with that thing.
Yeah,
So
it's strong.
it's all aluminum. I weighed it. I think it was like dead on 11 pounds.
Yeah.
I think it was just under 11, and then we added like 2 more small gussets, so 11 pounds. So it's not, loading up the trunk or anything.
Yeah. Looks a little. It
Yeah,
might
it
look
looks
a little
like it would be
bulky.
heavy when you
Yeah.
grab it. It's all aluminum, so cut out on our fine plasma CNC.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sweet logo.
The hardest worker.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had to do it to him.
So it's pretty sweet. I
Yeah.
thought,
No, this was really honestly. Bob didn't do shit really. I made
didn't
all
do
the stuff.
anything. I put 4 bolts in. That's it.
I made all the stuff, and I was actually kind of nervous at first, really, because you want something like this to be perfect. You don't really want it to be,
We
have
also
a crooked
don't,
wing or anything.
We don't really do this. Like he actually had drawn. I don't know if he just kind of wanted to, like that's where he wanted to place it. He kind of drew on the bottom of the trunk where he wanted stuff and gave some measurements, and you can see we're pretty much right where he was. Obviously, when I got to measuring it, I had the whole top of the trunk taped up and measuring from corner to corner and just trying to find reference points on something that's not perfectly square.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
that was the hardest part.
That's that's the scariest part.
It wasn't
is
even
just,
hard. It was more like, damn, I don't want to cut this.
Yeah, you just
carbon
don't
trunk
want to
and,
mess
be
up.
off. So, that was like measured 10 times and cut once.
Yeah.
And cut small and just keep trimming it out until it fit perfect.
Yeah.
But it worked out really well. It
Yeah.
turned out great. I mean, this definitely wasn't like our first idea.
Yeah, we kind of bound. We definitely.
yeah.
It took us a few days really to come up with a plan.
Yeah,
for
we
this.
didn't even really. We hardly touched the car. We just opened the trunk and looked at it for probably
And
3 or 4 days. Before
then
we
started
decided
sweating.
to like some basic stuff.
This is a really nice wing.
Yeah, it's definitely like
Shout
it's
out
not
to
just how do you
Claws.
say it?
Claws, I want to say.
So,
Sorry if I'm jacking that up, but
yeah. When he told us, his buddy has a Z06 that I built actually as well, and they always come together, drop one or the other off. They're from PA, and he's like, "Man, I got this huge wing to put on mine." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's gonna be pretty sick," because it's a road race car. Like,
yeah, look at the exhaust.
it's not like some.
This is not a normal SS.
Yeah, everything has a purpose. I mean,
Yeah.
the side skirts or whatever you want to call them, like it's not just that 6 inches you can see. Those things are like 3 feet wide. They go all the way underneath the car.
Almost like a skid plate.
Yeah, so the whole entire bottom of the car is like flat.
Right.
He's got this huge diffuser in the rear. The exhaust is like one of my favorite parts. That's
I know.
totally sick. We'll have to like get a clip from him, like at the track. And he rips this thing like full tilt, and that's what I was getting to with the guy that I found had this wing on a ZL1, and he had like some lap record at in Virginia, in car like ripping. I mean like 140 mile an hour, like all over the place. Like
Yeah.
that's some driving. That's cool stuff. That looks like a lot of fun.